Hello and welcome back to the Wasteland, everybody. Welcome back to New Vegas, where today we're going to be going over all of the pistols and the submachine guns, at least the unique versions of them. And we're going to be ranking them as to how hard they are to find. I'm going to be ranking these from 1 to 5, 1 being the absolute easiest. Pretty much you're guaranteed to get it any run that you do. You don't really have to look for it. 5 being ones that are very difficult to actually find. I'm going to be doing this for all the weapons in New Vegas, but there is a lot of unique weapons. So today we're just going to be covering the pistols and submachine guns. Next time I'm going to probably be covering like the shotguns and the rifles. I'm also going to be going over how to get these weapons as well. So let's just go right down the list. First up, we have Lucky, which is the unique 357 revolver. And Lucky is a really cool gun. It's one of my absolute favorite guns. It looks awesome, and you can find this one pretty easily. For this one, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. Lucky can be obtained in Prim, which is probably going to be the first location you go after Good Springs, since it's just right down the road from it, and it's where the main quest is leading you anyway. You can find this in the Steve Bison Hotel, and this is located in the gift shop. The gift shop has a safe in it. That's where Lucky can be found, and the safe is locked by a hard lock, meaning that you're going to need to have 75 or higher lockpicking to get in there. That's the main reason why I'm saying this is a 3 out of 5 in terms of difficulty. This isn't a very difficult weapon to actually get, assuming that you have high enough lockpicking or you have a way to cheat out high enough lockpicking. You can do this thanks to magazines. Magazines will give you plus 10 to your lockpicking skill. Plussing your perception can also do this, so like glasses or hats can sometimes do that. There's also some other armors that give you lockpicking or clothing that give you lockpicking. And if you have comprehension, then that will jump up the magazines from 10 to 20. So you can get in there a whole lot easier. And Lucky is a fantastic weapon to get early on. It does good damage. It does good damage per second. 357 is pretty common. You can load 38 special into this too, which is also fairly common in the early game. This requires no guns and only 3 strength to wield, so most characters are going to be able to wield it, and it looks really cool. It's arguably the coolest designed pistol in the entire game. Up next, we have the unique 44, the mysterious Magnum. Now this one, for an overall difficulty rating, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Depending on how you want to get this one, because this is on an NPC. If you just go north of Novak, where you're going to be going anyway for the main story, then you can find the Lonesome Drifter out there. He's just sitting next to a sign. He's got his guitar up. There's a fire burning there. He's just off to the side of the road. He's just before the 188 trading station. So you can just go up and talk to him. Now you can get this one a couple different ways. You can reverse pickpocket him, give him something better, and then pickpocket him and take the revolver off of him. That works. You could pickpocket him, take the 44 bullets off of him, and then he'll unequip the 44, and then you can pickpocket that off of him. You could potentially just kill him and take it, which is by far the easiest way if you just don't really care. Or you can complete the talent pool quest, which is available at the Tops Casino when you're looking for talent. You also need to pass a barter check then, which requires 50 barter. So depending on how you want to get this can be a 1 out of 5 if you're just going to kill him, take it, not really care about the quest. But if you are going to be doing the quest, then that at least adds a little bit more to it. But it's not a super difficult skill check to pass, assuming that you got decent enough barter, or again, another way to cheat out your barter, then that works. Or if you're willing to pickpocket him, in which case then this can be more difficult, since pickpocketing from NPCs can sometimes not go very well if you don't have really high sneak. But the Mysterious Magnum is another really good handgun. It does really high damage, uses the 44 round. It plays music whenever you pull it out or put it away, which is a lot of people's favorite part of this gun. It also counts as an improved holdout weapon too, so if you have 50 sneak, you can sneak this in, and this is one of the most powerful holdout weapons that you can get in New Vegas. Up next, we have a Light Shining in Darkness. This is Joshua Graham's unique pistol. This is his unique 45, and this one I would have to give a 1 out of 5, simply because you're guaranteed to get this one if you go through all of Zion. So all you have to do is finish Honest Hearts. It doesn't matter how you finish it, so long as you finish it, then you are guaranteed all of the unique items there. And that includes a Light Shining in Darkness, which is arguably one of the best pistols in the game. This one has really high damage per second, a very fast reload, above average crit chance. It's really good in a VATS build. The 45 rounds are actually pretty versatile too. If you get like hand loader, you can load super rounds into this. It does only hold 6 shots, but that doesn't really matter when it reloads super quick. On top of that, it's also affected by the Grunt perk, so you can get 25% more damage thanks to that. This is a fantastic weapon, but it's not a very difficult weapon to get. Up next, we have That Gun, which is the unique 5.56 pistol, but it was actually in the game before the 5.56 pistol was introduced at all. The 5.56 pistol is also sort of unique. It's one of the Gunrunner's arsenal weapons, which can only be obtained by buying them through vendors that might have them. That gun, however, you can just get normally. This one I would give a 2 out of 5. This one's actually pretty easy to get too. It's not very difficult, and it's in a location where you're guaranteed to go. You just sort of have to go out of your way to get it. So this one is available in Novak. You can either buy this one or you can steal this one. And either way, it's not very difficult to do either, because if you want to buy it, this isn't very expensive. Even with very low barter, it's probably not going to cost you more than like 800 caps. so you can pick it up fairly cheap, at least compared to some of the other unique weapons that you have to buy. The other way that you can do this is just break into the back of the Dinobite Hotel. The back room there has this, as well as a bunch of toys in the back of it. So if you want to break into that room, it's only on a easy lock, so you just need 25 lockpicking or higher to get it. That's extremely easy to cheat out. Like I said, magazines give you 10. If you have comprehension, that's 20. You can't really start with like less than 5 lockpicking in that case anyway, regardless of what build you're going for. And this one's pretty cool. This one has appeared in multiple Fallout games. It actually dates all the way back to the very first Fallout game with the 223 pistol. And this one you can also load with 223. 5.56 is super versatile. You can load a bunch of different ammos. I think this pistol has the most ammos out of any of the pistols. This one does pretty good damage per second, a high crit modifier, and very little spread. Even more so if you want to load like match rounds into this. It's a pretty cool little gun if you want to grab it early on, and since you're already going to Novac, it's barely out of your way to grab. Up next, we have Maria. This one is the unique 9mm pistol, which you're going to become accustomed with right as soon as you start New Vegas, because this is the gun that Benny shoots you in the head with. And this one I'm also going to give a 1 out of 5 for. This one is not very difficult to get at all. You're pretty much guaranteed to get it unless you really go out of your way to save Benny and have him leave, in which case then you'll skip Maria. But I feel like most players aren't going to do that. Most players are probably going to kill Benny in one way or another. And your reward for this is Maria. Maria is also tied to a couple challenges. One of them is killing Benny with Maria. So shoot this out of his hand, pick it up, shoot him with it, and you get that achievement. Well, not really achievement, it's a challenge for New Vegas. There's also one for killing ghouls with holy weapons, and Maria does count as a holy weapon. Maria is a pretty good gun. It doesn't require basically anything. It does good damage, really good damage per second, uses a super common round, has a good crit modifier on it, doesn't require very many action points, and it holds 13 rounds in it. Next up, we have the weathered 10mm pistol, and this one I'm definitely going to have to give a 1 out of 5. This one is guaranteed to start in your inventory, assuming that you have the DLC for it. So this one is part of the Courier Stash add-on, which if you have the Ultimate Edition of New Vegas, you're guaranteed to get all of these weapons. So this includes this pistol, you get a shotgun, you get a machete, and you also get a grenade launcher from it. And they just start out in your inventory right at the start of the game. The weathered 10mm pistol is probably one of the better ones that you do start out with, as it does do pretty good damage per second, and it's also one of the very few unique weapons that can actually have the modifications put on it. So the 10mm gets 3 of these. You can put the suppressor on here, the red dot, and the extended mag on it, and all of them can go to the 10mm pistol, which is slightly stronger than a regular 10mm pistol, so this one is actually a pretty good weapon if you want to be taking it around with you. And speaking of not exciting weapons to grab, we have Little Devil up next, which this one I'm also going to have to give a 2 out of 5 for, because this one is just a weapon that you buy. The only reason it's a 2 out of 5 is because it's really expensive to get. So, not difficult at all. If you have the caps, then you can get this one super easy. This one does come with the Gunrunner's Arsenal DLC, so you do need to have that. But aside from that, you just have to go to Mick and Ralph's, and then you can buy this. Mick and Ralph's can be found in Freeside, and you're probably going to go there regardless if you're doing the main story, because it's like the first shop as you go into New Vegas, depending on which entrance you take. And if you're exploring around Freeside, you're probably going to find it anyway, because if you're doing quests there, almost all of them link back to Mick and Ralph in some way. This is the unique 12.7mm pistol, and this one has the highest strength requirement out of any of the pistols, being as high as like the 50 caliber rifle, which is kind of funny. But this one does do really high damage per second, has a high crit chance, and it has very low action points, which is great. This one is also supposed to count as a guaranteed holdout weapon in the game, but it's bugged and it doesn't do that. So you can't actually sneak this one in anywhere where you would kind of want it to be. Little Devil is a lot of people's favorite pistol though. It is very powerful, and like the 12.7mm is really strong, especially if you get things like the hollow points or the jacketed hollow points for it. And then for our last pistol, we have the Ranger Sequoia. This one I would say is like a 2 out of 5 to get, because they do become common later on. Once you hit level 16, then the Rangers start showing up that can have this. Otherwise, a really easy way to get this is actually the one at Camp Golf, if you do the quest Return to Sender. Now, Return to Sender is a lot of people's least favorite quest, and I can kind of understand why, because it's basically just run all the way around the map, then come back, then fast travel to all those locations again, and then come back, and then go up to Camp Golf. And that's really all you have to do. You don't actually have to really fight anything to do this quest, and most of the time these areas are pretty safe to actually run over to and just talk to the people there. If you do this and then talk to the chief, he'll go through a quest that's usually bugged where he does shoot himself, and then the Ranger Sequoia is sitting on the ground next to him. you can then grab this. This does count as stealing, but this is probably the easiest Ranger Sequoia that you can get since you can grab it at any level. And the Ranger Sequoia is a fantastic gun. It doesn't have very high health, but it does do a ton of damage, the most amount of damage out of any of the pistols, at least per shot. Shoots fairly fast, it looks really cool, and the 45-70 round is pretty versatile as well, especially if you're a hand loader and then you want to put like the semi-wad cutters in it, or if you just want to load the hollow point rounds in it, it does a lot of damage to enemies that don't have like heavy armor. And then moving on to the submachine guns, we have two of them that are unique. The first one up is Vance's 9mm submachine gun. Vance's 9mm submachine gun, I would probably say is a 3 out of 5 in terms of how hard it is to get. It's not super difficult, and you do get clues early on, so that certainly helps. You can find at least kind of the first clue of this in Prim, where the submachine gun has been stolen from. The submachine gun is not in Prim, it's on the north side of Vegas, so it's on the complete other side of the map, and it's in an unmarked location. You just have to find a house where you have two thieves that broke in, stole the submachine gun, and are planning to use it on the strip to get a bunch of money. In order to get this gun though, all you have to do is either kill these guys and take the key off of them, steal the key off of them, or you can talk to them and talk them out of their crazy plan, which you do need to have high speech in order to get through that. But once you've convinced them, then they'll give you the key, you can unlock the safe, and then you can get the submachine gun here. Vance's submachine gun is actually a really good weapon. Uses the 9mm round, so that's super common. 9mm submachine guns are probably one of the more common submachine guns to find, even though they're not really that common. But it's not difficult to keep this thing fixed. This one does already have attachments to it, so it already has the drum mag, taking it from 30 rounds up to 60 rounds, and this one is also unique in that it has different sights than the regular 9mm submachine gun. It's not the aperture sight, it's actually more of an open V-notch sight for it. Vance's 9mm submachine gun is really good, and if you want to rush it, you actually can. It's just going to take you a little while to actually run all the way up there and get the key and get into the safe. And also, weirdly enough, even though they plan on sneaking this into the strip, you can't sneak this submachine gun into the strip. However, the next submachine gun you can. Our very last submachine gun, and the last gun we're going to be going over today, is Sleepy Time. This is the unique 10mm submachine gun, and this one is the only submachine gun that's actually a sneak-in item. None of the others count for this, and this one's a very powerful one. So this one comes with the Gunrunner's Arsenal DLC as well, and this one I would also probably have to give like a 2 out of 5 for. This one is not difficult to get, you just need the money to get it. This one you find at the Gunrunners, which is one of the easiest locations to find, so it's not difficult to find at all. And it's probably going to be most people's location where they just want to run and sell stuff or buy stuff from, because the Gunrunners tend to sell a lot of things, and since they're out in the open, you don't really have to go through loading screens to get into buildings, which is fantastic. Sleepy Time is going to cost you a lot. This is going to cost you maybe the most out of any of the weapons we've talked about so far, besides like Little Devil. I think that one can potentially cost more, but Sleepy Time is totally worth it. This one's already got the extended mag on the 10mm submachine gun, so it goes from 30 to 40 rounds. This one doesn't have super high requirements, does good damage, really high damage per second. It's probably the strongest or one of the strongest sneak-in weapons in the entire game, just because a full auto submachine gun is really, really good. And that'll do it for all the pistols and the submachine guns of New Vegas. Be sure to come back next time when I talk about the rifles and the shotguns. There will be some more difficult to find rifles and some more difficult to find shotguns as well. Nothing in this video is really that difficult to find, but some of these weapons are going to get more and more difficult as we go. Either way, thank you guys so very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.